Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be with you today from the We In Foundation. And we are in, and what that means is we want everyone to be included in mental health education. And oftentimes we see that certain populations or certain groups of people do not feel accepted when it comes to someone understanding their mental health. So I want to ask you all, what does mental health mean? My name is Gina Obiakor, and I am a doctoral student at Loma Linda University. This presentation is for educational purposes, and the We In Foundation is fictional. So I also want you guys, after you've come up with what you feel mental health is, I want you all to give me some ideas of what that is. Excellent. Those are all great examples of what we can think about when it comes to mental health, your mind's health. So what are some contributing factors to repeating forms of depression, as we stated earlier, are poor forms of mental health? We have here, I listed some. We have low support systems, low amounts of money, a rougher neighborhood, neighborhoods that don't have a lot of things to help you with certain things. Maybe some people drop out of school, they don't get to finish, and then sometimes there's not the best environmental quality that can lead to maybe a poor outlook or a poor vision of life. This chart kind of shows that African Americans, we're going to focus on this group today, everyone. We're going to focus on African Americans, and they are at the highest poverty rate as of 2015 in the United States. So what does this mean for mental health? Sometimes there's something called learned helplessness. So what that means is when people are in these repeated cycles of poor mental health and not taking care of it, they can give birth to children who grow up in the same environments, and then those children tend to have that same outlook on life. They're more likely to get in trouble because the way the system is set up, it is not set up in particularly in favor for African Americans. As we've seen by the news headlines and what has been happening, there's been police brutality. So this can affect mental health and how people feel and view themselves. This is why it connects to socioeconomic status. So can someone tell me what socioeconomic status means? Excellent. So socioeconomic status means, yes, where you are in life right now, how much money you make, how much money do you need to take care of you, your family, how does that affect where you go and who you see? That is your socioeconomic status. Now, African Americans are more likely to experience, what do we call it, racism. Why? Because of history, and also because of where they live. Some African Americans live in poorer neighborhoods, and as we saw in previous slides, African Americans are at the highest rate of poverty in the United States. So what is good mental health? Can someone tell me what would be good examples of practicing good mental health? Great. I heard someone say gratitude. I also heard someone say mindfulness, and I also heard someone say make social ties. That is what I have here right in the slide. Wow, amazing. Those are great ways to lower stress, is to learn how to better manage emotions, right? What are ways this can be taught to low socioeconomic status blacks? Well, we know about the complications it has on children. We know about what racism does to Africans. Um, what are some ways we can better improve that? Well, we have an example of an intervention that was done. We have it done in Chicago, actually, So it targets low-income African Americans usually, and it works with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And the project is to focus more on children and to kind of end these cycles that you see with low socioeconomic status blacks is the repeat of poor mental health. So the goal is to talk about these issues surrounding mental health, such as problems at school, problems with wanting to transition by harming oneself, um, home issues. So the goal is to kind of go into the home, talk with parents, talk with children, go into schools. This entire program goes into schools, talks with children, um, and it also helps to just kind of target those mental health issues. So the name of the program is called HOST, H-O-S-T, and what it does, it's called Housing Opportunities and Services Together. So it goes into the home and it also focuses on the outside. So this is a great example of something that you all can use in your professions. As stakeholders, you can use some of this information to maybe come up with new program ideas in your areas of work and also in organizations that you may be leaders of, and also in your homes, you can become a part of these organizations. So the conclusion here is low socioeconomic status can be caused by low levels of education, where people decide to work, the amount of money that they have, and that can lead to that. And that also has a connection with mental health and poor mental health. So it is truly up to us as public health professionals to come up with keen, socially appropriate ways of addressing the cycle of poverty against African Americans with low socioeconomic status. So SES means socioeconomic status. We need to create mental health programs that can offset the cycle that we continue to see happening. So it is with all of you that we can come together and come up with solutions that will offset this cycle and also um, make us more able to embrace mental health, not just cope with it, but and embrace it and come up with solutions. Thank you all so much for coming to this presentation. If you all would like to speak with me after about some of these programs I talked about, or even talk with me about even more ideas you all have, I would love to talk with any of you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.